Ah, yes. Who? Anybody know a guy by the name of Donald Trump? In many such cases. Now, the Republican primary has been over, because, like, nobody could win other than Trump, really. And that's still the case. But some interesting developments happened that I think warrant taking a look at. The South Carolina primary has come and gone. Nikki Haley's home state, and she lost there, of course, just like she did in every other state. El Bozo. But Donald Trump won by a 60% to 40% margin. Donald Trump's the orange bad haircut dude who likes building walls. Yeah, that's the guy. You might know him from what's that reality TV show? Celebrity Apprentice, something like that. 60% to 40% thereabouts was the final vote tally between Trump and Haley, which was honestly closer than a lot of people thought it would be. Still a pretty resounding victory in the primary for Donald Trump, but there's a distinct split forming between the urban Republican voters and the more rural Republican voters. And it's also worth noting that this is just with the Republican base, right? Yeah, that's true. That is the guy from Home Alone. That's right. That's where everybody knows him from. But Trump only winning by like 60% to 40%, I think, is indicative of something that could be bad for the Republican Party in the long run, which is that, like, they consolidated too early. I've mentioned this before, where, like, people really don't like the Republican platform. Even, like, people who've been Republicans for most of their lives, not a huge fan of it. And that doesn't bode well for the general election. Now, like, obviously there's still a lot of question marks of Trump versus Biden, right? In some respects, but this isn't a good sign for Trump for that one. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is the Republicans are losing their own base to infighting. And Trump has a very solid hold over rural Republican voters, but he has driven a big enough wedge in the party, and the Republican policies have driven a big enough wedge in their own party that they are, like, not willing to vote for them anymore. I've mentioned this before, how, like, neoconservative policymaking is really not fucking popular, and that's killing the Republican Party. And I think that'll be reflected in, if nothing else, the down ballot results of the 2024 election. And I would say that'd be good, but, like, obviously I have no love for the Democratic Party at a federal level either. We'll see. Yeah, because a lot of the Nikki Haley voters in the Republican primary could either stay home or vote for Joe Biden. And they might have some inclination to vote for Republicans elsewhere on the ballot. But I don't know how far that extends. You know, I think I've explained I'm an anarcho-Bidenist based. Well, yeah, kind of based. I think I've explained on a stream like a while ago that there was this neoconservative to fascist pipeline in the Republican Party, where around the time of the 80s and 90s, when neoliberalism was all the rage, Republicans realized neoliberal economic policies and neoconservatism as an ideology is very institutionalist, and it's not popular with the majority of people that we need to, like, go and vote for us. So they attached more and more and more reactionary politics. They brought that more to the forefront of their agenda, whereas previously it was still a feature, but not necessarily the main driver. They put it at the forefront, the reactionary politics, to be the main driver, to sort of mask their neoconservative policy positions. But you see, the thing is, America's a pretty progressive country. People don't like the reactionary politics either. and that's starting to show. And that's part of the reason why I say that, like, the Republican Party is cooked. That's one of the main components. They are ideologically, like, untenable as a party. They haven't, they are a fascist party, and they want to do fascism by way of, like, religious fervor, but they haven't built and maintained the necessary fervor to be able to do that.